Motherhood. 1 minute, you're mom of the year.
I love you, Mommy.
Then the next, not so much. From bath time to bullying, from potty training to puberty, parenting is full of challenges. But one thing is for certain, you are not alone. Welcome to Modern Mom Probs. I'm your host, author, mother, parenting expert, Tara Clark. Join me while we tackle today's modern mom problems. Welcome back to another episode of Modern Mom Probs. I'm your girl, Tara Clark, and today I have a very special episode. 5 years ago, when I was writing my book, I sat down with my son and I asked him a question about parenting advice. At the time, he was 7 years old. And I thought to myself, I would love to revisit this concept 5 years later. And so with that, I sat down with Jack to ask him his opinion on parenting advice and life as a tween in middle school, dealing with the things that we deal with in 2025. So I think it's a really interesting conversation. So not only do I sit down with Jack and he is totally unscripted, totally off the top of his head, and I also am going to share with you his interview from 5 years ago. But without further ado, I'd love to welcome Jack. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ma.
I'm so excited to be chatting about this again. So 5 years ago, when I was writing my book, you and I sat out on our backyard on our deck, and I asked you this very question. And I'm going to read it exactly as I worded it from the book 5 years ago. And I'm super excited to hear how your answers have changed in that amount of time. So here we go. I'm looking for some parenting advice. What advice would you give mommies in order for them to be good mommies?
Towards teenagers, correct?
Well, I'm asking you now that you are a teenager.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we might not have to say mommies. Maybe we'll just say parents.
All right. So I would suggest this to parents, but mainly to everybody. It's always good to be well-rounded, especially in parenting, especially in everything. You don't want your child to be like extremely gate-kept from everything, but you don't want them running the house. They should have freedoms while also having restrictions at the same time so that they grow up to be like compatible with the world and like smart enough to do things on their own. Because there are a lot of things where you don't want your child to kind of be like malnourished in that skill. There's many things like this. Help them with their specialties and make them have a broad range of skills. You don't want to just be good at like, I don't know, math, while being terrible at like social skills and literally just everything else you need in the world. You should be just all right to good at most of the things you'll need later on in life. It helps you to be broad and well-rounded because there's no downsides to being well-rounded other than maybe you're trying too hard on too many different things, which I can understand, but just learn to fight to your own capacity and give up when it's like needed to. You should retreat if you need to retreat on anything, really.
That's really great advice, Jack. I am going to take that into consideration. What are your thoughts on screen time?
I mean, I feel like this differs for many different parents. Some people are more strict than others. I kind of already covered this. But, like, I think a good range is, like, 1:30 to 3 hours a day. Somewhere in between that would be good for your child because they can do other things with their time, like hobbies, like sports, and random skills that aren't sports, just anything. But screens are good too. It's kind of like how a lot of adults drink, you know? You don't have to think about other things. You can just kind of turn your brain off and just kind of have fun with your friends. So a couple hours is good for them because, like, you're not overdoing it, but you're not underdoing it. It's the same argument as being well-rounded. And just try to make it so they're not addicted, but they at least get to hang out with their friends enough so that they're happy, you know? And, like, I can understand, like, keeping them away from social media. I'm not on TikTok because, like, but, like, give them like the bare minimum. Like at least give them YouTube, maybe a couple social medias other than YouTube, video games, of course. Just don't overdo it or underdo it, because then your child will either be addicted or gatekept, and neither of those are good.
The theme that I'm getting from you is moderation.
Yes, moderation is always good.
It seems to be the key, whether it's screen time or being well-rounded in your skills. So now I want to pick your brain a little bit about friends and your social life. Obviously, this was not a question that I asked when you were 7, but now that you're approaching teenage years, now that we're here, we need to talk a little bit about social life. So what do you think is the importance of friends and maintaining a healthy social life?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not have friends. And I think you should be well-rounded, like I said before. But this is one where you need to focus on something more than others, because people will share the same interests as you. You just have to find those people so that you can make like a friend group. You want to be likable, not like the weird kid who picks his nose and like screams in class for no reason. You want to appeal to other people so that you don't come off as like stupid or unlikable. And it'll make you happier as long as you have friends. Unless you're trying way too hard and you're like the popular girl at school, it's probably not worth being that person. Just be in like the middle of all of that. You don't want to be like hated or overly liked by everyone, because either of those two can have so many issues and flaws. It's just good to have like 4 to 15 friends. Anywhere in that group throughout like the school is usually pretty good and balanced. So have friends, hang out with them a lot, try to stay likable around other people. You don't really want to be like, oh, wait, this is more for parents. You don't want your kid to seem like uncool in front of their friends, really, because this can ruin their social life or like how they appeal to others. They want to seem cool. If you don't seem cool, you'll fall into like kind of the unlikable or like just non-useful part of the social ladder in a school. So I think just try and keep your kid somewhere good. Allow them to hang out with their friends a lot. Don't be like, oh, your friends are hanging out? No, you have to stay home because you have to do your math homework that I'm assigning to you, not your school. You should at least let them try to be good towards their friends so that their friends like them back. And they're not like hateable, you know? You don't want them to be like hypocritical, narcissistic, and just mean to everybody. Everything in moderation. Again, just keep your child up there with people.
Yeah, it seems to me that balance really is your main focus here and your main key. You had mentioned something about parents don't do anything that's uncool that could affect your kids. Can you give me an example of something that would be uncool that would affect your children?
If, per se, you're in a group of friends that, I don't know, plays a lot of video games, but like actually cool games, I don't know what you'd classify that as, just not games for like 5-year-olds. And they're like, oh yeah, well, my child also likes to play a lot of Minecraft, so do you want to join them in Minecraft? They might find that uncool because they would rather play Halo or Call of Duty 6. Did they? Yeah, BO6. I think they released that now, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, BO6. And not some game where there's like a lot of random 7-year-olds and then like it just doesn't have that cool appeal to other people as like a game like Half Sword would to me or like my friends. You just want to appeal and not be like random and kind of childish.
Oh, so what I'm hearing you say is that as parents, we shouldn't like accidentally embarrass our children by suggesting something that might be conceived as uncool.
Yes, it is usually pretty good to stay out of that, as it's kind of like stepping on eggshells with that. You don't want to accidentally say something that'll make all their friends be like, oh my god, really, you do that? How stupid of you, ha ha ha. Like,
well, I feel like that would be really mean, though. If friends were like that, then maybe you need a new group of friends.
that's how a lot of people are. You'd be surprised, Ma. Because you are a parent, you don't know much about the.
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm
school.
asking you. That's why we're trying to pick the brain.
What's happening here?
That's what happens in middle school.
You could be in a lot of friend groups. Stuff like that will happen. Like, if you mess up too hard, people will be like, oh, you're odd. I don't like you. And you probably won't get kicked from a friend group with people you're really close to, but it's just not worth the risk of seeming childish or just kind of like different from the rest of your friends.
But what if you really did enjoy a game that the other kids deemed uncool? Like, what if you and I'm just using Minecraft as an example, because, like, what if someone really did enjoy Minecraft?
You don't have to tell them. Get in a friend group with people that play Minecraft. You can play those other games with them and not tell them that you play a lot of Minecraft or Roblox or whatever you play. And it'll be perfectly fine. You can find other people that play that. If you have majority or at least a couple of people to back you up, then sure, say that. But, like, if you're the odd one out on something that people feel really strongly about, it's probably not worth standing up and being like, oh, yes, I love to play Grow a Garden on Roblox. Boop.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are really into Grow a Garden right now. I know you're not, but I know a lot of other folks are really into it right now. It's definitely having a moment in time.
Yeah. I don't understand it.
So, sort of sticking with this both friend group concept and technology, what age do you think is an appropriate age for
phone?
Tweens? Yeah, for people to receive their first phone.
I think it really differs because some people at the age of like 13 can like walk themselves into town, go to Starbucks, buy drinks, and then walk home. And then some can't even leave the house without almost getting hit by a car or like getting lost. So as long as you think they're responsible, I think at the age of like 11 is fine if they're kind of following the track that I know a lot of people do follow. But if you think that they can't handle it, you might want to gatekeep it a year or two longer than you should, or at least try to teach them responsibility before you give them your phone, because you don't want them to just be like idiotic with it. Like, oh, I dropped my phone into the gutter and now I don't know how to get it because I've never left the house before. And I'm going to need you to get this. So, like, give them good technology once you trust them with it. If you don't trust them, what's the point of giving it? And I don't want to sound like one of those parents that's like, oh, I haven't given my child their phone until they were like 18. Don't be like that. But if your child is like useless in like a sense where like you don't trust them to go out and like fend for themselves with their friends, they probably don't deserve a phone. There are people who don't deserve it and people who do deserve it. Just don't, like, just get it to them before they're like 15. Because like there's a point where you need a phone, even if you are immature. And there are certain ages like that, like 14, 15, even 13. Because like you are probably getting a lot more independent at that age. And I think you deserve your independence and a phone so that you can go places, contact people, even like follow up with your friends and stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, you know that social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, people under the age of 13 are not allowed on them.
Yes, you need like a teen account.
Right. Well, you need a teen account from 13 plus.
Yes.
Yeah, but anything 13 below is off limits. And so I know you had mentioned earlier that you don't really have such a desire to be on social media. You really could take it or leave it. You don't really care one way or the other.
I'm fine with it.
So my question to you is, like, how do you think that teens should navigate social media in today's age?
I think it's good to be safe on it. You don't want to just be like one of those keyboard warriors who's just beefing with anybody they disagree with, like a Redditor even. So I think a good age for social media, kind of the same with phones, 13, 14, 15, those are good ages for them to get like Insta and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people that age do use social media quite often to connect with their friends and people they know or don't know, even they just like them. And I think social media, yes, it may be unhealthy for people, but going back to my first point, use it in moderation, like you could even put like a time tracker on it. Like, it's not like you don't fully control what they do usually. And once they get to a certain age, maybe like 15, even like 14 if you trust them enough, you could just kind of like let them take the reins. But up until a point, I don't think it's great for them unless you really trust them or trust the website or something like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is back to school shopping stressing you out, dreading those long lists and running from store to store hunting for supplies? Yeah, I totally get it. This year, there's a better way. Introducing teacherlists.com, the website that makes back to school shopping a breeze. Teacher Lists takes teachers' back to school supply lists and transforms them into easy to use shoppable lists online. That means no more scrambling to find the right notebooks or mystery markers. Teacher Lists connects with major retailers like Target, Walmart, Amazon, Staples, and many more. So you could shop for everything you need at your favorite store with just a click. No more running from store to store. Teacher Lists ensures that you get the exact items that your child's teacher wants, so your child could be fully prepared and confident on the first day of school. This back to school season, ditch the stress and embrace the ease. Head over to teacherlists.com to order those supplies today. Happy shopping! Do you think that social media at large is healthy for teens?
We don't do that many healthy things nowadays. Like, a lot of people, I know people who just stay inside and play video games instead of like doing actual like activities for the brain or body or anything. And that's not good for you. That's not healthy. But like, it is entertainment, and I get that. It's not like gladiator fights were healthy for some people, but it's not like it ruins society if we have it. And yes, maybe it may. There are a lot of people who probably can't function well in society, and I'm not entirely blaming social media. It's a combination of a lot of things, but in general, I don't think it's helping us. And not like it's like, oh my god, it's going to destroy the world because it's hurting this generation and everyone has brain rot. It's not that terrible. It's just like, what does it really help us with other than entertainment? Not really anything.
Sometimes connection. Sometimes it helps to connect with.
You can do so
people.
many other things to connect, though. Like, yes, I get showing people your videos, but it's not like we've always needed that self-gratification. I'm not sure if everyone in, like, I don't know, the 1800s were like, oh, yes, I need everyone to see my beautiful house tour, and I gotta show everyone on this town because it's so beautiful. I feel like people nowadays are a lot more needy, like, do you need everyone to instantly gratify you? Or like, even some people can't even get things on their own. I know someone who steals my chicken nuggets because he doesn't want to get more chicken nuggets for himself. But if I am on social media, I don't think it's going to destroy my life. It's not that terrible. It's just not great.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I agree. It's not terrible and it's not that great. I think it has two sides, right? There's two sides to every pancake, sometimes people say as an expression. And I think that it's a wonderful way to connect with people and to share valuable information and to be entertained. And then on the same side, I think that sometimes there can be damaging messages or images or assumptions and different things. And so we can sometimes get tricked into the social media comparison. Do you ever feel the social media comparison?
Not really. I'm not that into everything. Like, yes, I'm still pretty active. Yes, I'll fight people on the internet if I disagree with their claims that badly. Or if they even disagree with me, I'll fight back. If they're firing shots, I'll fire back. But I don't think it's like changed me that much.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I started like interneting and like doing stuff really in like 2019 mainly, before like slightly before COVID. And I think the internet has just fallen off slowly after that point. Like in 2020, we had such good cat memes, and the internet was a lot more like wholesome, I believe, than it is now.
I agree.
Now it's just kind of like a little worse, and like people are doing so many things that are like hateable on. Not that that's really like a word, but like if you've been on Roblox, not that I think you have, people are getting hate for pretending to be like it was in, I guess, like 2018, 2017. Just
an example. I'm not really following.
It's called retro slop. You guys can research that on your own. But people will just get hated on for so many reasons now, even if it's kind of just like stupid. These people, I guess, are just being annoying in the way that they want nostalgia, and the entire internet has turned on them. Like I'm not saying like, oh, justice for retro slop. I kind of hate it too, but I would still say that it's really easy to get hated on the internet, and some things are so deserved. Some people are absolutely the worst, but there are people who just don't really deserve it as much as they actually get. I can't really bring up an example of this.
Do you think that people are meaner today on the internet than they had been previously?
It hasn't changed much. I just feel like it's gotten a lot cringer now that there's a lot more, I don't know, like childish things now. Like Italian brain rot, why is this on my feed? I don't care about it. I kind of despise it. But there are so many people that like it and so many people that hate it. I really feel like everything's so controversial because we can't make a single actually great thing now.
Do you think that like everyone's just trying to yuck each other's yums?
Yes, because there are so many different sides to this. Like, you could be like a kind of like a gym bro, and you'll probably hate like Taylor Swift fans. And you could be a Swift fan and you can hate like those gym bros. There will always be sides to something, and they will always be fighting now. Like, and I'm not saying the internet was perfect in 2020. That's why we had like trolls and stuff a lot back then. But like, I feel like it's just a lot more annoying and kind of like needy and like crybaby and cringy nowadays.
Okay.
And
so
there's a lot more hate now because of this. And I feel like some of it is deserved, but you know, just still, more hate usually isn't a good thing.
No, more hate is definitely not a good thing. What do you think is the most challenging thing about middle school?
Probably the social life. Like, you can do the work. If you're terrible at it, just practice. But in the social life, you can't just easily practice being social, and your actions have a lot more consequence. If I get like an 80 in math, I can probably redeem it by getting like a couple of hundreds later on in math. But if I say something so like absolutely idiotic that kids like no longer like me, I don't think I'm making a comeback from that, at least in that year. So I do think social life is a little harder than like learning how to do different things in school, like history, just anything, social studies, even math isn't as terrible as like having beef with a kid who can like really ruin your life or something like that.
Yeah, that does sound challenging. And also, I feel like that doesn't sound all that different from when I was in middle school, except for the fact that there's so much more technology and smartphones now.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give parents of middle schoolers to help them navigate middle school life?
I really think that I've already given what I can give, but I do still want to drill in the point that don't embarrass them in front of people. That's not going to help their like ego or public image. They don't want to be embarrassed. No one wants to really be embarrassed. I mean, there's fine, like one person, but like try to keep them well rounded. Don't make them too needy. If they are super needy, maybe toughen them up. If it's better to be well rounded than weak in a bunch of things and good at like one thing, unless that one thing is life. But that life isn't one thing. Life is more complex than just being like, oh yeah, I'm good at life, I can do these things. It's like there are so many aspects that build up into having like a good image and life and all that stuff.
It's true. You mentioned having a good image. Do you think that's something that's important to middle schoolers?
Extremely. The egos really matter to a lot of people. And I'm not like apart from this. I don't want to look stupid in front of my friends. I would rather them look stupid other than me. Like, I do not want to look stupid in front of people. I don't think you do.
No.
Fellow viewer of this podcast.
Yeah.
But like, who really wants to look stupid?
No one
Like,
ever
no
really
one.
wants to look stupid. Sometimes we just embrace the cringe when we have to, I think.
And that's why egos are so important to these people. It's these people. I'm saying that like I'm not one of them. We are really ego-driven by a lot of things. You don't want to seem stupid. You don't want to seem unfunny. You always want to seem better than everybody else in school or like in your social life.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
No. There's really no right or wrong answer. It's just your opinion. All of this is just opinion-based.
Yeah.
Right? Looking back from 5 years ago to now, when I first asked you this question, we first did the interview for the book, how do you think you have changed as a person?
I mean, I think I've improved a lot more on like everything. I was really a cornball back then. I was like insane. And now I think I'm just kind of like upper middle class popularity. I'm good at like schoolwork. I just try and stay good and interesting to the people around me. Like if I see that my public image is like kind of slipping or something like that, or I need to like refresh it, I'll throw like a little house party for some of my friends to get the respect back. Kind of like just so people, like acknowledge me and still want to be my friend. So I think that I've gotten a little meaner, but like a little bit tougher and better at a lot of things. So remove yourself from your public image, right? How do you think you as a person have changed? Not really much, honestly. Still like inside, but I don't really like show around people. I really haven't changed much other than finding what I used to like kind of cringe. Because like I was 7. Like what thing that a 7-year-old really likes in 5 years will not be cringe to their future self. They're going to be like,
yeah.
I watched Coco Melon? Ew. Oh my God, I thought this was cool. Ew, this is so cringe. So like, I think it's kind of understandable that I think I've improved. And usually as a child, you do kind of improve like stocks over the course of your life. And then it starts to go down in old age. But I am not there yet. I am literally not even like 20. I'm not even close to that.
Right. No, that makes sense. So I'm going to ask you a question that I ask all of my guests, regardless of who they are and what their age is. What do you think is the biggest modern mom problem today?
I really don't know. Probably parenting, honestly. I think that's why you have this podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
To teach people parenting. You, my viewer, are probably watching this for parenting tips. You're not like, oh, I like to see what this child says. I don't have children. I just like listening to this kid talk. You need help with parenting. And I think that I might have dropped good tips for this. I think if you asked me this 5 years later, I'd probably be either better or much worse as like an incel who's just on their phone all day.
Oh, gosh.
So there's two ways that can go.
Well, I hope it doesn't go in that direction, my friend.
It probably won't. I think I'm staying pretty normal.
I think so. I think that
Thanks.
you walk the walk and talk the talk, in as much as we were talking about moderation and balance. And I think you work really hard in staying right down the line, right down that center. You're not too much of one thing or the other, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and another tip, parents, don't glaze your children in front of other children or people they know.
What does glaze mean?
So don't kind of be like, oh yes, my child is the best. They're so good at this and this and this, and I love them so much, and they're the perfect child, and no one's better than them. Don't be like that in front of other children. You're leaving the other children out, so they might be offended by that. Not that that's the biggest of your worries, but this is also kind of embarrassing. If you're like, oh, mwah, mwah, I love you so much, and you're the best. Go get him, tiger. Wah! They're going to be like, oh, yeah, my mom's so uncool, or my dad's so uncool, to their friends, after that. So, don't glaze, don't embarrass them, just try and keep it normal. If it's a good time to sit out, just sit out. Let the child handle it on their own, if you trust them to do that, and if it's not up to you to fix the problem that they may have started or someone else may have started that they're in.
Yeah, that makes sense. How could parents support their children in a way that's not embarrassing or not glazing?
I think really doing it in private is a lot better than doing it in front of their friends or people they know, because then you can really say basically whatever you want to them, and as long as it doesn't get out, it's probably not going to embarrass them as much. If you started insanely glazing me right now, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be like, edit this out, please, no. But because that's embarrassing. It's just good not to embarrass the child. You want them to sort things out on their own. You want them to be independent. And if they're independent, they'll just always be better at life than someone who's like, oh, Ma, I'm sorry, man. Can you just get me everything today while I play video games and call my friends? Yes, thank you. Because if they're doing that, they're not going to be tough later on in life. You gotta teach them how to live before you let them lean back. And I'm not saying this as oh yes, toughen your kids up, make them buff and do all these sports and just make sure your kid's not a wimp, Just
do you mean emotionally? You mean
no, in general. Make sure they know how to walk into town, be able to do that stuff. For God's sake, teach them how to pay taxes if you want. But don't just be oh well, my child can't do anything socially or physically or mentally, so I'm just gonna reward him with video games. That's great.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So I think from what you're saying here is that parents should really work on allowing for moments of independence for their children so that it builds confidence.
Yes, I think that independence is good, and it also helps socially, even if that isn't the first thing you think of. If their friends are like, hey, can you come into town? Do you want to get Chipotle with us? And you're like, no, well, my parent doesn't let me because they don't think that I'm good enough. They'll be like, oh, all right, well, we'll wait another year till they think that you're smart enough. That's not damaging your social reputation. It's just not helping it. Because people will be like, oh, yeah, this guy takes us to Chipotle or Starbucks or Target or whatever they want to go to. He's so nice. And sometimes he even pays for our, Baja Blast at Taco Bell.
It's very specific.
Whatever. I don't know. We don't have a Taco Bell near here.
No, we don't. But
Okay.
It'd be fun if we did. So what I'm hearing from you are two main themes of balance and moderation, as well as encouraging independence.
Yes.
I think those are probably the two biggest
You want
takeaways.
them to be confident and strong in their social manner and speaking skills, and just keep them able to be good with other people and good with their work, and they'll just do fine in life. They don't need to be perfect. I'm not encouraging like pushing your kid to their limits, even if it seems like this. Just keep the kid smart and like happy, and I think they'll grow up to, I don't know, get a well-paying job and like have a good family. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be good. I don't want to drill on these points. It's just I'm talking in circles, and this is the only thing I can do because I don't have a script.
You did fantastic without a script, Jack. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for sharing your insights.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
So now that Jack and I sat down and spoke, I wanted to read to you from our interview 5 years ago when he was 7 years old. So here we go. Me. I want some parenting advice, okay? What advice would you give mommies in order for them to be good mommies? My son. Since I'm a kid, I know a lot about mommies. Trust me with what I'm about to say. Mommies need to be nice to their kids. Kids don't like being bossed around. Some kids like to be independent to show off for their moms. And we could do lots of stuff, you know. When a kid is sad, his parents should give him a hug or a compliment or say something nice. If the kids run to their bedrooms, don't chase them. They may want alone time. Give them space for a little bit. I personally like alone time when I want it, and I come back when I'm ready. Oh, and moms should pay attention to their kids. Kids say, "Look at me, pay attention to me." Look at them because it's hard to hold a handstand, and they may never be able to do it the same way again. Pay attention because kids can do amazing things, and you might miss them. Kids love snacks. Give them a few snacks a day, especially midday in between the main food times. That's when snacks taste the best. Kids don't like being rushed. When parents rush them, it may make them feel confused or annoyed. It takes me time to do things like get ready to leave or to eat. Kids need lots of playtime, lots of it. It's literally a kid's favorite thing to do. Playtime, lots of it. I can't say that enough. Kids love sweet things like ice pops and candy. Kids like homework to be fun. Make our work more fun and it goes faster. Kids like their birthdays. Try to celebrate it for a season, a month, or a week. Not a year because it can't be your birthday every day, but for me, I like a week or a month even. Kids like to have company over that won't steal their toys or break their things or make a big poop anywhere in the house. Kids like pets. Cats, dogs, birds, and fish make good pets. Don't get anything that will hurt kids when they play with them, like a cobra. Cobras are expensive too. If the kids are having fun in the bath, let them play because they like to play. It makes up for any cuts in playtime with longer playing in the bath. Kids love to snuggle, especially with moms because moms are soft and warm. Some kids are shy, and that's okay. Don't ask these kids too many questions. 1 or 2 are okay. Don't bomb kids with questions because it makes them feel shyer. Try to make everything fun with kids. Kids want to have fun unless they feel sad, and then leave them alone until they're ready to talk, like I said before. Don't scream at kids. It scares and confuses them. If it happens a lot, it will make kids wish they had different parents. I know that because I have friends like that. They get scared of their parents. Kids like to play outside, but if a kid is in the mood to stay inside, then let him. Me. Wow, that's great, buddy. Thanks for all the information. Is there anything else you'd like to say to sum it all up? My son. Kids like to have their opinions heard. They have important things to say. Mom should listen. And there you have it. Straight out of the mouth of babes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode today. It was a very special one for me to record, and I hope you got something out of it. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Modern Mom Probs. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive in today's problem with me, your host, Tara Clark. Join me next time when I'll be interviewing another great guest and tackling another modern mom problem. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and a rating. As always, you could head over to Modern Mom Probs on Instagram and give me a follow, or check out my book, Modern Mom Probs, A Survival Guide for 21st Century Mothers, available online wherever books are sold. Well, that's it for today. See you next time, folks.